Hello, everyone. Welcome to the match reaction. The U.S. men's national team just played against Brazil. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, we're going to be doing this is a newer channel, even though it has over 1,000 subscribers, because we are redesigning this channel to say the least. We got new stuff coming up, of course. But yeah, I mean, I'm American. A lot of people know me from the NUFC Talk TV channel, where I am a fan of Newcastle United, and of course, but in this channel in particular. I want to talk about anything football, especially the United States men's national team. So if you can, hit the likes, subscribe if you're new, and welcome to this new live show. The U.S. men's national team. Wow, wow, wow. We just won. Over 60,000 people went out there and watched this game. Amazing stuff. Welcome, everyone. And as you see right there, the final score 1-1. What can I say about this game? Well, you see two players right there on your screen, Tim Bream and Christian Pulisic, amazing players that that are obviously uh, pivotal for this team today. It was a great result. AG right there in the chat, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for being on the channel. It's a great result, even though it's a draw against a tough Brazilian team, and of course, w- we as an American team, we just lost five. Let me see what was the score. It's 5-1. I knew it was 5-1. I thought it was 5-1, 5-0, 5-1 to Colombia just a few days back, June 8th, 4 days ago, and now to draw this game with Brazil, it's a pretty big deal because obviously we were depleted. We didn't think it was going to happen. We thought we were going to get rammed and annihilated. Well, we didn't. We showed today. And listen, I'm not a fan of Berhalter. I'm not. I'm not a fan of him. I think that it's. I didn't think he should have been the manager uh, once again for the national team. But at the end of the day, we have to support him. We have to support the team if we want to become a better team, we have to get behind this team and, of course, criticize when we need to and praise when we need to. In this game in particular, I repeat, everybody thought that we were going to lose by 10 goals, and now we didn't. Obviously, we're good, but we didn't just get the result, even though we're going to get to the stats. And I'm pretty sure, without even looking at the stats, that they're not going to some stats are not going to look in favor of us. Uh, Definitely, the ball possession is not going to be in our favor. That's 100%. But regardless, I think it was a good game by the U.S. men's national team. And we're going to look at the lineups first. What did we line up with? Let's start with Brazil because they have a really terrific lineup. I mean, one of the best players, if not the best players in the world, playing in top leagues across Europe and playing against us. That we got players that play in Europe as well, and we got really good players. And so let's start with them. Allison, we already know he's one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League, if not the best. I mean, you can say that. Lucas Beraldo, Marquinhos, Danilo is a right back. Wendell, I got a really good taste from Wendell. He really looks like a good left back. Didn't know much about him. And then in the midfield, you go to Joao Gomez, who was subbed, and then you are my beloved Bruno Guimaraes. Obviously, being a Newcastle United fan, Bruno Guimaraes, I know him very, very well. He was subbed out, number 5 in Lucas Paqueta in the they play with a 4-2-3-1. Very classic, very maybe not so much of a Brazilian squad because they've been playing for the longest time 4-3-3, but with this one they went classic. But even then, they were very, very dangerous. And between 4-2-3-1 and 4-3-3, it's just a small margin. It depends how the players stand on the field, of course. But Joao Gomez, Bruno Guimaraes is center midfielders, and just a bit above them, Lucas Paqueta, West Ham player for West Ham United. Rafinha, Rodrigo goes. Rodrigo was very dangerous. He got subbed out, but he was very dangerous. And up front, kind of a false nine, you can say, the one and only one of the best players in the world, significantly by a margin for Real Madrid, Champions League winners, Vinicius Jr. So this squad in itself was a dangerous, dangerous squad. I mean, it is what it is. You knew that you were going to face this team, and it was going to be a tough one. to get a win, to draw the game, let alone get a win, is what I'm trying to say. And so overall, the result is magnificent. And of course, the fact that we played good. I like the way we played because we knew our limitations and we knew what we needed to do. We knew that we weren't going to blow Brazil out of the ballpark. We knew that it was going to be a tough match to defend. You know that we're going to have the possession. You know that we're going to have opportunities. And at the end of the day, they have the heart of a champion, which is at the end of the day, they're going to have opportunities to win the game. Even after all you've done throughout the whole match, we could have lost the game at the end, but we didn't. A big shout out to our goalkeeper, Turner, who is from St. Louis, Missouri, the state where I live. So amazing. Now we got Brazil. We know that they were juggernauts. So let's not waste any time. Let's go to the main dogs right here, to our team. And we start right here with, look at that, Matt Turner. They give him a 9.5. I give him a 9.5 as well. He was, if maybe if he would have kept the zero and his goal at zero, then they would have given him a 10. But he was very, very prolific. Matt Turner was on another level tonight, saving goals. And he was put in a predicament where at some point in during the game, we left Brazil for the counter attack. We were a little bit too open for comfort. But of course, I mean, what can you expect? You're going to have to. These things are going to happen, and so it left the goalkeeper one on one. In that particular moment, Matt Turner was always in the right spot, always running to beat them to the ball or just stopping the ball. And if a bad bounce happened, if something happened, he was quick enough to go back to goal, and he was doing everything right, Matt Turner. And I'm really proud of him. I think obviously he's the goalkeeper for the United States. And I mean, there's absolutely no way that we can say that Matt Turner needs to be subbed out or anything. He is the number one for the United men's national team. When you go to the defense, is it was really good as well. A lot of people are going to talk about Tim Ream as and have been talking about his age, playing at Fulham. What is going to happen? Should we not get another center back to replace Tim? Well, Tim Ream has been an all timer for the United States men's national team. He's been doing this thing for a while. But he played, I don't know, they give him a 6.9 here. I don't agree with that. I think he was very pivotal to this, to maintaining our, the least amount of goals in our goal as possible, which they scored. And I will talk about how they scored and also how we were quick enough, mentally tough, had the personality to not mess around and get right to work, get right back to work. So, but we're gonna get to that. We're gonna go player by player here for a minute. I really rate Tim Ream's performance tonight, and I want to know your opinion. So let me know in the comment section what you think about this one. Chris Richards, good game as well. I think it was solid. I think Tim was better. Had a better performance, but at the end of the day, he was there and he was getting the job done. It's hard to defend against Rodrigo Goes and Paqueta, and of course Vinicius Jr. It's very tough, and they did the job. They did good enough to get the result. Joe Scally, good performance as well. You know, but then again, he had to battle juggernauts, and that's what you got to look at. That you have to battle Rodrigo, Lucas Paqueta, Vinicius, and Rafinha all the time. And on top of that, the midfielders who might go, Bruno Guimaraes, we know that he is a creator. He throws passes. He's very quick and very smart, and so he attacks a lot. So you got to imagine those are the midfielders. Imagine this triangle right here. This triangle is lethal on most games. Well, not in this one. On the left side, you got Anthony Robinson, really good performance as well. I really like the way he played, and no objections. When you get to the midfield, you got Musa. Now, Musa, in my honest opinion, was mm, if you could say the worst player of the team, you can say it was Musa. But well, Gio Reyna also he was playing. I think he played better than Musa. But saying the worst sounds bad. It really isn't. I mean, Musa was there to do a job. He's a defensive midfielder. He's not much of a creator, and he's there to do a defensive role. And it is what it is. So let's leave him there. But he is the best one that we got. And really, everybody out there is the best in each position. To say, I mean, you guys tell me in the comment section who you think If you think I'm wrong, I think everybody there is the best in their position. And we're gonna look at, well, it depends how you look at things because Balogun obviously was a sub. Some people might say that he's better than Pepe. This season in Europe, in Monaco, Balogun was not he did not have a great season. He just didn't. Um, so, but we'll look at that. And now Gio Reyna, really good performance, did what he has to do, creating creating plays. I mean, he was active. Wasn't the Gio Reyna that we know. He's also been considered as one of the busts for this season, as well as Balogun, Gio Reyna at Nottingham Forest. So, meaning that he hasn't been the guy to perform, etc. He was to perform up to the expectation that they thought at Nottingham Forest. So I don't know, but with the national team, he's had good performances, but unfortunately, nothing really there to say he was the player in the match. No, he wasn't. But he did his job. Now, when you go to the left side of things, Weston McKinney really, really uh, good performance as well, in my opinion. He was linked to Newcastle United, my team. So, but now it looks like he might go to Aston Villa. Look, Aston Villa making moves with PSR issues. Why can't Newcastle make moves? But anyway, that's subject for NUFC Talk TV. So if you're a Newcastle fan, go subscribe to NUFC Talk TV and you'll see us talk about the tune there. But Weston McKinney, good performance. I really like the way he did his thing, and ultimately was one of the best players on the pitch. If you move forward now to the forwards and to the wingers, you go to Christian Pulisic. I should have left him for last because he was the best player on the pitch. He was the man of the match. If you look at the United States perspective, only the United States. To me, he was the man of the match. That free kick was unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable stuff. Really, really smart, really skilled. Was not expecting it, even though probably should have expected because he wasn't going to shoot it over the wall because it's a short distance. But definitely the goalkeeper should have known. But the goalkeeper tried and he just could not reach it. Allison, it was a great free kick. Pulisic is a talented player. The question is not the talent. The question more for Pulisic is living up to the expectations that most people have for Christian Pulisic. He is the wonder kid. He is Captain America to most people, and obviously he is the captain. But what I'm trying to say is that some people say that he is not good of a player that everybody says he is. I think he's a very talented player. He's been doing well at Milan. He wasn't given as many opportunities at Chelsea, but now that he's going to a different league, we'll see how he performs next season and the following season, and how he becomes a leader for this United States men's national team, which is the most important part out of everything. Um, when it comes to the U.S., of course. So I think he was the man of the match. Great free kick, great leadership, and I think he was performing. The bad thing about the U.S. tonight was that we just, in a lot of ways, we couldn't finish the play. We tried to do too much in certain areas. One of the players that tried to do a little bit too much was Timothy Weah, and but he was one of the best players as well. So very active and very synchronized with the offense. And I do believe that obviously he was one of the best players. But yet at the end, when he was on that last move, that last pass, the last decision, he wasn't as sharp as I would have hoped him to be. The same thing with Pulisic, by the way, and Ricardo Pepi. But Wea is a player that can generate a lot of football, that can cross, that's fast, that's agile. So I expected a little bit better from him, but I mean, I think he will become better, and I'm excited to see what he can bring to the Copa America. Now, when you go to number 9, Ricardo Pepi, half Mexican, half American, it is Ricardo Pepi, ladies and gentlemen. And a few years ago, he was linked to go to Real Madrid. Well, he didn't. He went to PSV Eindhoven, but a good striker to say the least. I think though, even though with Balogun's tough season, I would have liked to see Balogun in the starting lineup. But that is up for debate. I guess you can say it's not really a big deal. But Ricardo Pepe, he was subbed out. Of course, we knew that though. I mean, we knew that Balogun was going to come on. But I mean, the offense was really good. See, the main thing here is when we look at the United States men's national team tonight, just tonight, The most important part was the resilience, the personality, and to keep going. You were faced with an adversity today, which is you're playing against Brazil, and and you have they score a goal early in the game. All of a sudden, it could have easily torn this team apart, and it would have been done and over with. But no, the team, and I have to give Berhalter the praise on this one. I also think that this all came for preparation before when during the preparation of the game. I think that they we lost against Colombia 1-5, and so I think that the team Berhalter prepared this team saying, "Look, we're playing against Brazil. Everybody thinks we're going to lose. Everybody thinks we're going to lose at home. 5-0, easy game for them. Practice." So he inserted that anger behind the players. I can tell that. I can tell that because my wife Betsy saying Pepe represents El Paso, Texas. Yeah, that's right. That's where Betsy's family's from, just across the bridge. But the main thing was that inserting that personality, inserting that anger, motivating this team. I think Berhalter did a good job. Now, is he going to be able to do that for every team out there? That is the biggest question. Is he? I mean, I'm sorry, for every match. Is he going to be able to do that? Is he going to be able to do that at the start of the Copa America? That's going to be really important because he's going to have to. He's going to have to. He could play against Brazil again. So you're going to play. You're going to play against a lot of important players, and you're going to have to do the same thing. It can't just be on a friendly match against a Brazil team where everybody thinks you're going to lose. It has to be every match. Now that's easier said than done, of course. But at the end of the day, it was done today, and you have to give Berhalter the ups on this one. He did a good job at preparing this team to perform. The personality, that was the biggest thing. And also, when it comes to football, the way we were having the ball, we were pressing, we weren't letting them play in moments of the game where I thought was unbelievable. I really enjoyed the fact that the US was pressing, was bothering, had the personality not to be scared of this team. Listen, it could have easily been done that way. It could have easily went down that route, but it didn't. We had the personality, and again, that's the biggest outcome of this game is that we had the cojones to not be scared and go out there and get it done. Now, as far as the players that came on the pitch, as you see, the subs, Florin Balogan, 64th minute for Pepe. I think I don't know if he could have done more. I think it was about the same as Pepe, but I would have liked to seen him start. Or maybe actually you can say that Pepe probably played a little bit better than Balogun. But I would have liked to see him start. I mean, it's just me. It's a personal preference. Now Johnny Good came on 65th minute as well for Gio Reyna, and he did well. I mean, when I say well, it's not necessarily something out of this world, but he played decent. P. Morton said even Shaq Moore knew where he was going. Yeah, that's right. Shaq Moore right here. We got him right there, man. Shaq Moore came in the 85th minute for Joe Scally, and I think he was great. I mean, listen again, great. What does that mean? No, I mean he did his job. He did what he had to do, and I think that's the most important part of this team. That even when the names of this team are not names that you might recognize, that's irrelevant to the pitch. You still got to do your job. You still got to know what the manager wants you to do, what the coach wants you to do. And if they do that, if they maintain, because this is the game, this is what we're, this is clutch time for the United States men's national team. This is clutch time. When Berhalter came back on, everybody said, "Well, there we go, another World Cup wasted," and I was one of them. I've chilled down a lot. The jury's still out on Berhalter. This was just a friendly game. We can't go overboard. But you got to get behind this team, and this is clutch time. This is the tournament that we asked to for Berhalter to perform. That we ask Pulisic to perform. Because if Pulisic is just going to be this kid that plays good and doesn't carry the team, then that's not going to be good enough. That's not going to be good enough. He needs to perform. He needs to go out there and be the leader of this team. So is Berhalter. So is Weston McKinney. They're not young guys anymore. They're younger, but they're not kids. So they got to show the personality. The same thing for Wea. They got to go out there and get the job done. And tonight they did it. Now we go, it's night and day with this team because you just lost 5-1 to Colombia. Everybody was having a meltdown, and it was, yeah, it was horrific. If you criticize the team on that loss, you should have, and it's good that you did. But of course, the next game you win, like you don't win. Sorry, you draw against a tough Brazilian team full of stars. Well, it's got to be something positive to come out of that. So I agree with P. Morton. Shaq Moore did good. He also says, let me go to the comments right there. He also says that Anthony Robinson needs to learn how to do a through ball. Balogun was making runs. Yes, and when I rated Balogun's performance, I was saying, well, probably didn't perform as good as Pepe. Pepe wasn't outstanding to say the least. He was good, but it was more of a combined thing for the U.S. team. And I do agree with you because I was seeing Balogun is a different type of striker, different type of center forward. He runs. He tries to anticipate the offline line, the offside line. He tries to anticipate. He tries to go. He tries to get those balls. And of course, like you said, Anthony Robinson probably wasn't sharp enough to think that way, to give him that pass. But I mean, it's one of those things. Is he going to be the starter for that team? Well, we have to see. Um, but I mean, I do still believe that we got the best players out there as far as positions is concerned. You can argue Balogun, you can argue Brendan Aronson that came on for Wea as well, but he's not better than Wea. So let's not even joke about that. You can argue Tyler Adams. I thought that the player that probably didn't perform the best out of all of them would be Musa. And so, do you try Tyler Adams there for a second? Because Tyler Adams was getting busy. He was there. He was defending. He was being tough in the midfield. So, would you just have to see? And at the end of the day, Berhalter's got the ultimate decision on that. Betsy says, "Let's hope next game versus Bolivia we see strong performances for them as a whole." Um, that's right. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Pete Morton says Scally was impressive defensively. Aronson will always have a pillow feet though. Always have a pillow feet though. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I mean, in that sense, yeah, but he's not better than Wea, so we shouldn't even worry about that as far as Aronson is concerned. He'll be a sub, and that's about it. Now, Scally, I agree with you. Defensively, he was good, and that's a tough side to defend, man. Look at that. You got to defend against Rodrigo. You got to defend Vinicius. Vinicius leans on that side all the time. He was leaning on that side all the time. He was over here all the time. Rodrigo right there. Lucas Paquetá. Wendell as well. Wendell was looking good, man. This Brazilian kid. And so Scally was doing his thing. I think he was worn out. That's why he was subbed off. And listen, deservingly so, man. Imagine defending all those juggernauts. So Shaq Moore, the fact that when you mentioned P. Morton that Shaq knew where he was going. Imagine coming on at the 85th minute. And that's when things got heated, ladies and gentlemen. That's when things got heated at the 85th minute. From then on, the last 10 minutes was unbelievable. Like they could have scored a goal, but we were tough defensively. A big shout out to Turner. But like you said, a big shout out to Shaq Moore because he came on. And I mean, imagine coming on at 85th minute, you're cold, and you have to defend against all these guys. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable to see. So shout out to them, and of course, Berhalter. You have to give him credit for preparing this team. You have to give him credit for preparing this team the way he did. I mean, listen. Sometimes it sucks because I don't like doing that because I'm still don't trust. I'm still not trusting Berhalter as far as the manager is concerned for this national team. But one thing that I can tell you that could have helped, but maybe some people will say it didn't help against Colombia, is that when he came on the national team for the second time, the players were behind him, starting by Pulisic, the leader of this team. They were behind him. That's all they wanted to. They were happy. They were excited to see him again. Well, there you go. It's one of those things, man. It's one of those things. What can you do if the team is going to trust him? Well, then that's it. And that's it. So we just gotta wait and see what happens in the Copa America. That ultimately that is the biggest thing right there. Seeing what happens in the Copa America. In these tournaments is what is what it's all about. These tournaments is what it's all about. and we're going to be covering the national team here on this channel, of course. So stay tuned. Let your friends know, and we're going to be looking at right now just to recap what's coming up for the new for the national team. Uh, and as my wife Betty was saying, we're going to play against Bolivia for next week. It's going to be the 23rd. Panama also on the 27th. And then on the 1st of July, we're going to be playing against Uruguay. That's going to be a tough one. But the group is rather accessible because, I mean, you got it right here. We got Bolivia should be accessible. Panama should be accessible. I know that I'm underestimating some of the Panamanian team, but I mean, listen, we got to beat somebody. We can't complain. Uruguay is going to be tough, of course. They got good players, good manager in Bielsa, and so it's going to be tough. But I think that we can do it. We can definitely get out the group, and we can make moves, strides towards the bright side, which is maybe reaching a semifinal, maybe reaching a final. Why not? The U.S. has the talent, but we have to play as a unit. We can't play as individuals. We're not Brazil. We're not Uruguay. We're not even Uruguay plays as a unit. Historically, we're not Argentina. We got to play as a unit. P. Morton says if he gets out of the group in the Copa, we'll never get rid of this knob. That's right, and I'm telling you, man. I wasn't a fan. I'm still not really on the Berhalter bandwagon, but the players trust him, and that's all you can do. And you can tell that today as well because he must have done something to ignite a fire behind this team because the way they got behind him and behind the team, the way they were intense, the way they were pushing. It's listen, it was all personality, and at the end of the day, that's all you can ask for. To be honest with you. He says, P says, Uruguay is going to press, press, press. Yep. Uruguay is going to do their thing. They're a very defensive team, always, historically. But with Bielsa, it's a different type of thing. They got the players and they got some stars, man. That midfield, uh, they got some stars. I think they're still playing Cavani, if I'm not mistaken, which he's old as dirt. But as far as everybody else, they got good young talent. And yeah, man. Let's just recap real quick what 2024 has looked like for the United States men's national team. I will read these games. We started with a friendly in January against Slovenia. We lost 1-0. In March, we beat Jamaica 3-1 against and that's for the Nations League Cup. Against Mexico, we beat them 2-0, of course, the famous 2-0. And then friendlies against Colombia 5-1. And of course, just now drew 1-1. I went to the one, which one did I go to? And I went to the one in Uzbekistan that was in St. Louis. Yeah, there you go, St. Louis. So I went to that one and it was awesome, awesome atmosphere, awesome to be there. Great stadium, by the way. But look, we're gonna bring you more United States men's national team content on this channel. So subscribe, let your people know. And as far as it goes, this match, it was a friendly, but it shows you good, positive things about the team. And ultimately, we got we got our money's worth. If it would have been a 5-0, even though they were better, we still would have a sour taste in our mouths because it wouldn't be the way to start the Copa America. So we'll have to see. Hopefully, we don't play against Peru. You know, I'm Peruvian by birth, so I will be heartbroken. My heart will be split between Peru and the United States. But regardless, we're going to be covering the U.S. in this channel, so stay tuned. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.